Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
As the curve continues to flatten, we are getting a better idea of which businesses will be next on the list of those allowed to reopen and what safety measures will be in place when they do. Good to have you with us for Local 4 News at 6. The governor hinting at another easing of restrictions, but for some, it can't happen quickly enough.
We'll get to the political battle brewing in Lansing in just a moment. But first, one number that's going in the right direction, and that's the number of new cases in our state. Michigan is reporting 432 new cases. But sadly, that comes along with 92 more lives lost to COVID-19. Wayne County Executive Warren Evans today announced a hiring and spending freeze to help deal with the county's projected revenue shortfall of $152 million. And Governor Whitmer announced what she's calling the My Safe Start plan for rephasing and reopening of the state's economy.
The My Safe Start will be incremental. We'll start with workplace types that pose the least amount of risk. It's really important that we get this right. So the first will be additional outdoor enterprises that we feel pose low risk. We'll also be looking at residential and commercial construction. That industry, for example, will be one of the first sectors to return to work. We're also carefully evaluating a number of industrial sectors for potential restart as well.
Governor laid out the bones of her plan, but not any timelines just yet. Business editor Rob Maloney live tonight from Lansing with the latest, and how today's announcement may lead to another political battle there. Rod.
Yeah, Devin, you know, the legislature feels like the governor's slow rolling this thing. She wants to be safe, prudent, careful. The legislature says there's too much of that, and they want to change it. And so what we're looking at here now is the governor's extension of the state of emergency kind of lays in the balance, because it's the legislature that will decide that.
We're going to need to extend the state of emergency. I'll be sending a letter to the legislature asking them to extend this emergency by 28 days. It really should be longer than that, but 28 days is another important step.
The governor's desire for an extension's no surprise, really, but the politics might end up a problem. Today, she hinted that she would relent and allow construction workers back on the job perhaps this week. But Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkey today wondered why she didn't do it last Friday when she relented on a number of other restrictions, allowing the industry to prepare to get underway. And he says he reached out to the governor's staff yesterday.
I simply asked the question, so what's the holdback from at least adopting the most recent SIPA guideline? And the answer was, it will put too many people back to work.
His frustration palpable. Shirkey believes Michigan could have been on this path a couple of weeks ago and wants to see bolder action. The governor says she does want to work with Republican leadership.
And so it's better for everyone if we work together to get this right, and that's precisely what I am trying to do. I think that it's important that the public understand the seriousness of this moment, that we have got glimmers of to be hopeful, that we've done a lot of things right.
Shirkey went on to say he's not interested in waiting anymore.
But now we're in a different phase, and we need to be comfortable getting outside our comfort zones and testing other actions now. Not just get our economy back, but to get our society and our culture back.
Now, here's what's going to happen here in Lansing. Tomorrow, the Senate meets. The House will not. They'll be calling in to check in and see what happens. Come Wednesday, the entire legislature is expected to be in session. In the meantime, the governor and the Republican leadership are going to meet tonight to see if they can do some horse trading, see if they can figure this thing out. If they do, then things could go smoothly. If they don't, well, then Wednesday becomes vitally important. Reporting live in Lansing, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
We'll be watching. All right. Well, the Wayne County Health Department makes some big moves in fighting COVID-19 in nursing homes.
Yeah, the mission here is to get more tests and PPE into nursing homes to try to prevent the spread of the virus. Local 4 Defender cameras were there this afternoon as members of the health department visited one local nursing home. Karen Drew has that story.
The numbers are frightening. In Wayne County, more than 1,006 of the county's 6,759 COVID-19 cases are among nursing home patients and staff. Wayne County's healthcare officer telling me there are two main issues they need to solve: testing and training.
Wayne County health workers suiting up and going in. That's the plan for these county experts to visit the 60 different nursing homes in the county, as nursing homes have become the next hotspot. The mission, find out what these facilities need in terms of help and supplies.
They have been very, upfront, cooperative, wanting our assistance.
These site visits are to find out numerous things. Do they have enough PPE? Do they need more COVID-19 tests for residents and staff? And are their workers trained properly so the spread of the virus can be contained?
They're just strapped for getting enough staff. That's, they admit it's challenging.
When I talk with some nursing home owners, they tell me they need more tests. What can be done for them?
We're working with the state for getting more test kits down here. So now we're really going to be able to make sure those go to the facilities that really need them. I wish I could tell you how long, but the plan is contact the Wayne County Health Department.
As in many businesses, there are good ones and bad ones, and Osterbury admits there are some specific homes on the county's radar that could be doing better for its residents, but would not issue any names at this point. Right now, she says the attention is doing visits like this one, so our seniors, the most vulnerable population, can be protected. Karen Drew, Local 4 Defenders.
Wayne County Executive Warren Evans noting that we're all in this fight together, and we are going to help nursing homes get the training, testing, and equipment they need to adequately protect their residents.
And you can now take a look at the nursing home data by going to the COVID-19 data page of our website, clickondetroit.com.
Meanwhile, Detroit Mayor Duggan speaking today about the process of bringing Detroit city workers back to the job.
And he's setting some big goals where that's concerned.
I have a goal that says you should be as safe in your workplace during the day as you are at home on weekends. I want to have the reputation that the city of Detroit has the strictest medical protocols in the country for bringing people back to work.
Well, the mayor laid out 6 principles for safe workplaces, and those principles include initial testing of each city employee, daily employee temperature checks, health screenings and monitoring, workplace distancing and hygiene protocols, mandatory use of masks and other PPE, thorough and frequent cleaning of work sites and vehicles, and finally, maintaining an adequate stockpile of PPE and sanitizing supplies.
New study from the University of Michigan is putting Detroit's economic crisis in perspective.
In a survey, 1 out of every 5 Detroiters said they will definitely run out of money in the next 3 months without additional support from the government. About half of Detroiters say they're more likely than not to run out of money in that time span. Victor Williams spoke with one mother who's doing her best to avoid that scenario.
Well, these are some pretty depressing yet eye-opening statistics. I spoke to one woman today who tells me she believes that her family is going to be one in the number of those who are not able to make ends meet, all because of COVID-19.
It's a real hardship for a lot of us, especially ones who are still working.
Detroit mother and grandmother Jacqueline Anderson says it's been a real stressful time keeping up with the bills and other finances in the era of the coronavirus pandemic.
I just hope that something else can be done. I'll be glad when it's over with, or I can go back to my 56 hours a week. At least that helps me a lot.
Jacqueline works for a local hospital and has been underemployed ever since her hours were reduced from nearly 60 a week to just 16.
16 hours a week, I can't live off of that.
So far, she's been surviving thanks to her family members, but she's wondering how much longer that will be able to last.
But what about next month and the month after that? Depends on how long this go on for. And I do not receive unemployment at all.
Sadly, she's not the only one in her situation either. Thousands of Detroiters are expected to be going through the exact same thing.
But the ones who are working, example for a couple of my coworkers, we're struggling. I'm on the front line and I'm not getting anything extra. So I hope they can even help us. Send us some more stimulus money so we don't be in debt, we don't have to be talking about, doing bankruptcy.
And so far at this point, the state of Michigan has given out $1.37 billion to the 820,000 workers that have been affected by this pandemic. Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, Victor. A welcome sight at local hospitals, survivors leaving to music and cheers.
And tonight, one of those survivors is sharing what that moment of celebration meant to her. Our Dr. Frank McGeorge has her story.
Tanya Brown of Detroit knew she was fighting the coronavirus, but when her symptoms started worsening, she didn't want to go to the hospital because she was afraid she wouldn't come back. That made this moment all the sweeter.
They had all these signs. It was so beautiful. I felt like a little bride coming out. I was crying, they were crying.
61-year-old Tanya Brown says she took all of the precautions to protect herself, but she still got sick.
I started developing a fever. I usually get sick around that time when it go from winter to spring. I usually get strep throat. So I said, oh my goodness, I'm going to start having strep throat.
But in days, she said her symptoms spiraled. She ended up hospitalized with double pneumonia at Beaumont-Grosse Pointe. Her 3 sons were worried, but couldn't be with her. Tanya says her faith helped her pull through and get her back to her family.
My God has helped me through this. If it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have made it. I really don't.
She is grateful to the staff at Beaumont-Grosse Pointe and praised their professionalism.
They kept a calm feeling. They just did their job. They didn't seem to me to be stressed or anything, so that's why it made it so much better, because they was doing their normal job.
But she won't forget her special send-off.
I believe they want every patient to leave like I left. That's their goal.
Tanya says she's feeling stronger every day, and she says now she wants to do her part to help others through this difficult journey. Back to you.
Great. All right, Doc. President Trump and his coronavirus task force holding a news briefing right now. That's happening, as a matter of fact, and we're streaming it for you at clickondetroit.com. The president says he is seeing encouraging signs that aggressive strategies have been working.
There's a hunger for getting our country back, and it's happening faster than people would think. Ensuring the health of our economy is vital to ensuring the health of our nation. These goals work in tandem. They work side by side. It's clear that our aggressive strategy to slow the spread has been working and is saving countless lives. For those who are infected, we've taken unprecedented action to ensure they have the highest level of care anywhere in the world.
More coming up from the task force ahead at 6:30 on NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt, which you'll see right here on Local 4.
Well, we complained all last week about the lack of sunshine, and clearly it worked. Hi, Ben.
Kim and Devin, yeah, we got it today, and the end of the week is going to be fantastic. It's everything in the middle of that sunshine sandwich that's going to be a problem, and we'll discuss that next.
Restaurants that were booming just a few months ago are now struggling to survive. Coming up in my Help Me Hank report, how you can help those who are struggling, and also what's being done to help keep these restaurants open.